On my very first class, I made the students train while wearing 200-pound iron shoes. But the students were extremely dissatisfied with my training methods. They thought I was just as easy to bully as the other teachers, so they directly walked out. To make them submit completely, I immediately hurled 10 javelins to block their path. They were pinned in place and unable to move. Seeing their confused expressions, they were clearly guessing my identity. I had originally been a mafia boss, but to fulfill my mentor's final wish, I came to a regular sports school to become a teacher. When the principal learned about this, he enthusiastically held a welcome ceremony for me. However, I went straight to the sports field instead. After watching the students' training programs, I formed a plan in my mind. I then gathered the students and introduced myself. Right after that, I directly scolded them, saying they were nothing but useless trash. This immediately angered everyone. The sports committee member demanded a 100-meter race against me on the spot. He wanted to use his advantage to force me to back down. When the starting gun fired, he shot forward instantly. He looked back and saw me still warming up at the starting line. He was certain that I planned to give up. Just as he was about to reach the finish line, a dark figure flashed past. Before he could even react, I was already standing at the finish line. I did this to crush their blind confidence. When they fell silent, I promised I could completely transform them. I then brought out a set of strange training equipment. I told them they would have to wear all of it during every future training session. The next day, the principal brought school leaders for an inspection. They saw the students washing clothes and blowing up balloons. The leaders said these training methods were pure nonsense. Of course, I understood their doubts, so I publicly promised them that if we achieved no results in the interschool competition, I would accept any punishment from the school administration. The principal had no choice but to escort the leaders away. On the day of the competition, I ordered the students to compete while wearing their training equipment. The moment they entered, they were mocked for looking like a circus act, but I didn't take it to heart. Soon, the shot put competition began. The opponent easily threw a distance of 16.15 meters. Seeing my student panic, the opponent mocked him, saying, "If you're scared, don't compete." Urged by the referee, the student dropped the shot put he had used during training. However, he did not notice that it had smashed a large hole in the ground. The student swallowed nervously and threw the shot put, but he nearly fell over, which immediately triggered laughter across the stadium. Parents in the stands immediately questioned the principal. They said it was wrong to entrust their children's futures to such a terrible teacher. This sparked agreement among the other parents. The principal could only do his best to calm everyone down. What no one knew was that this wasn't a decline in the student's ability. After repeated heavy load training, the student simply hadn't adapted to the now lighter shot put. When he picked it up again and threw it with full force, the referee immediately dragged out the measuring tape to record the result. But I knew this was only the beginning.